Previously on Sweet Serenity, Nurein and Adrian thought the rumors would die down, but part 2 proved them wrong. 2 weeks of being alone at home became the beginning of something dangerous, something soft. From silent breakfasts to candlelit confessions, the tension between them only grew stronger. But the world outside wasn't ready to mind its business. The mini-mart gossip, the jealous ex, the whispers, the stares, everything pushed them closer instead of tearing them apart. And just when the truth became too loud to ignore, Adrian finally asked the question Nurein had been running from. A confession in the quiet, a kiss in the dark, and a love they could no longer pretend away. It's hard to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to Sweet Serenity. 2 weeks of mid-semester vacation sounded peaceful in theory until it became clear that it meant 2 weeks of being alone in the same house with Adrian. No classes, no distractions, no crowd to buffer the tension between us. Just silence, proximity, and the memory of his ex's meltdown echoing in my head. The first morning, I woke up earlier than usual. The house felt strangely calm, like it was holding its breath. When I stepped into the kitchen, Adrian was already there, leaning against the counter with a mug in his hand. He looked annoyingly perfect for someone who didn't try hair messy, but intentional, eyes half-lidded in that sleepy way that made him look softer than he should. We stared at each other for a moment too long. "You're up early," he said without looking away. I could say the same. He shrugged lightly, then surprised me by sliding a second mug across the counter. "It's coffee, not poisoned." I rolled my eyes, but took it anyway. It tasted better than I expected, warm, rich, almost sweet. He didn't comment, but I caught the faintest hint of a smile tugging at his mouth when I drank it. The next few days blurred into a strange routine. We cooked at the same time without arguing. We cleaned the house side by side like we'd been doing it forever. Sometimes, we'd end up in the living room watching separate shows, but on the same couch, silently existing in each other's space, without hostility. One night, the electricity flickered and went out. The entire house dropped into darkness. I groaned, but before I could reach for my phone, Adrian lit a candle and placed it between us. "That's better," he said, settling down on the floor beside me. The warm glow softened everything, his face, my guard, the distance we pretended to keep. We talked for the first time like actual humans, about school, about family, about how annoying the campus rumor was, even though he refused to deny it. "Why didn't you correct them?" I finally asked. He stared at the candle, the flame dancing in his eyes. "Because I didn't want to say something I'd have to take back later." I blinked. "And what is that supposed to mean?" He didn't answer. Instead, he nudged my knee lightly with his. A silent, infuriating, confusing gesture that left my heart doing a stupid somersault. The next morning, he cooked breakfast, proper breakfast. Eggs, toast, fruit, the whole thing. When I walked in, he looked almost embarrassed. "I didn't know what you liked," he muttered, "so I made everything." I wanted to tease him. I wanted to ask why he suddenly cared. But the truth sat too heavily in the air between us. Something was shifting slowly, dangerously, beautifully. By the end of the first week, the house no longer felt like a battlefield. It felt warm, alive, like we'd built our own quiet world where rumors couldn't reach us. One evening, as we washed dishes together, our hands brushed light, accidental, but enough to send every nerve in my body awake. I looked up, ready to pretend it meant nothing. But Adrian wasn't pretending. He was looking at me like he saw me for the first time, really saw me. His eyes softened, his breath hedged, and for a moment, the entire room felt too small for the both of us. We didn't speak. We didn't need to. Something was happening. Something neither of us could deny anymore. And for the first time since this whole chaotic mess started, I didn't want to run from it. By the start of the second week, the house felt different, almost like it had rearranged itself around us. The silence was no longer heavy. The tension wasn't sharp. It was warm, electric, dangerously inviting. We moved around each other too easily now, too comfortably. And that comfort scared me more than the old hostility I ever had. On Monday morning, we decided to step out to restock groceries and touch outside, as Adrian put it. The moment we reached the mini-mart, the illusion shattered. People stared again, whispered again, except this time, it wasn't curious gossip, it was certainty, confirmation. They looked at us like we were already a couple. One girl nudged her friend. "I told you, they're together. Adrian doesn't even look at anyone else anymore." Another added, "It's always the quiet ones that steal the fine mows." Adrian heard it, I heard it, and suddenly, all the progress we'd made at home tangled into an uncomfortable knot. I tried to step away from him to create some space, to stop this wildfire rumor from spreading, but Adrian casually shifted closer, like he didn't notice, or like he did and didn't care. "Relax," he murmured. "Relax, the whole campus already thought we were dating." His ex probably had my name on a dartboard, and he wanted me to relax. I didn't realize how tense I was until he reached for the cart and brushed my hand. A small, accidental touch, but I flinched. He froze, then his jaw tightened. "You're avoiding me again." "I'm not." "You are." His voice was low but sharp, controlled but burning. Before I could argue, someone gasped, loud, dramatic, familiar. "Oh my God." We turned. Copper hair, perfect lashes, nails that looked like they could slice a soul in half. His ex. Again, she folded her arms slowly, like she'd been waiting her whole life for this moment. "So it's true." Adrian's shoulders stiffened. Mine did too. She stepped closer, eyes locked on me. I really didn't want to believe it. "But you've actually replaced me with him?" "It's not like that," I said quickly, but she wasn't listening. She was too busy glaring at Adrian like she'd caught him cheating on her all over again. "I was willing to forgive you," she said. "I was willing to fix things. But now I see you've moved on. To your stepbrother." "Ex-stepbrother," Adrian corrected calmly. Calmly. "Oh please," she snapped. "That makes it even more ridiculous." People were looking now, phone subtly out. Drama unfolding in real time. I stepped back again, feeling heat crawl up my neck. This wasn't my fight. I didn't want to be in the middle of whatever emotional storm this girl was ready to unleash. But Adrian moved closer to me. So close our arms brushed. His ex's eyes widened. "Wow, you're really choosing him." "I'm not choosing anything," Adrian said. "But I'm done explaining myself to you." The girl scoffed, blinking too fast. Her turning into fury. "You never changed. You're still selfish, Adrian. And you're still obsessed with controlling everything," he replied. Steady but ice cold. Silence, then tension. Then her eyes snapped to me again. "You," she hissed. "Stay away from him." That did it. Something inside me, something I didn't know I had, snapped. "Maybe you should talk to him," I said quietly. "Not me." She blinked like she didn't expect me to respond, but I didn't back down. The air cracked with awkward, sharp edges. People murmured. Someone whispered, "Omo, fight go starto." Adrian touched my elbow, gentle, grounding. "Let's go," he said. We walked out of the store together, not touching, not speaking, but the silence between us was louder than any argument. Halfway home, he finally exhaled. "You shouldn't let her get to you." "I don't care about her," I muttered. He stopped walking, turned to me. His eyes searched mine, deep, honest, uncomfortably sincere. "Then what are you scared of?" "I'm not scared." "You are." "Adrian, tell me," he said softly. "Why do you keep pulling away?" I tried to answer, but the truth stuck in my throat. Because if I didn't pull away, I was scared of how close I'd get. He stepped closer, expression unreadable. "I'm tired of pretending nothing is happening." That made my heart stop. "Happening," I whispered. "Between us." My breath caught. The street felt too quiet. The world too still. But before I could respond, before I could confess or deny or run, he reached up, gently tucked a strand of hair behind my ear, and said, "I don't want to fight you anymore." My chest tightened. My throat burned. And for the first time, I didn't pull away. Something shifted, then slow but irreversible. We walked the rest of the way home in silence, both of us pretending nothing had changed, even though everything had. The house felt too quiet that morning, the kind of quiet that meant something was coming. I found Adrian in the living room, leaning over his laptop, a faint frown on his face. He looked up when I entered. "We need to get out of this house," he said. I blinked. "Excuse me?" "A break, a short trip, something simple." Then he added softly, "For us." For us. Those two words rearranged my heartbeat in ways I didn't approve of. "Why?" I asked carefully. He held my gaze. "Because every time we get close, something interrupts." "Campus drama, that forum post, my ex." "You're overthinking." He paused. "I'm tired, Nurein." There it was again, my name in his voice, warm and dangerous. "So you're saying we should travel?" I asked, trying to sound unaffected. "A small business vacation," he said with a faint smile. "We'll plan content for my dad's project, finish some of your designs for your portfolio, and rest. No no's, no rumors, just the two of us." My chest tightened. Okay. The trip was only 2 hours away, a quiet resort with wood cabins and the soft smell of pine everywhere. The moment we got there, the silence felt different, not heavy like home, but calm, safe. We dropped our bags and walked around the place, pretending we weren't both hyper-aware of each other. I kept catching him looking at me, he kept catching me pretending not to notice. Later that evening, we sat outside our cabin, with warm lights hanging above us and the breeze brushing past quietly. Adrian was scrolling through photos on his phone, pictures of us that people had taken, the rumors, the drama, and then he stopped suddenly. "This one," he said. He showed me the blurry picture someone took of us at the gate. "The one that started the worst of the rumors." I grimaced. "Burn it." "I can't," he said gently, "because it's the moment everything changed. Everything slowed. My pulse, my breath, my ability to look anywhere except his eyes." "Adrian," I whispered. I wasn't lying when I said something is happening between us. His voice was low, almost careful. "But you keep running, and I keep chasing. And I don't even know if you want me to stop." I swallowed hard. "I don't know what I want." He leaned closer. "Then let me show you." He reached out slowly, giving me time to move away, but for the first time, I didn't. His hand brushed my cheek, warm and steady. The world fell completely silent. "Nurein," he whispered, "tell me you don't feel it, and I'll back off forever." I couldn't say it. Not when his touch felt like home. Not when his voice softened only for me. Not when my heart was beating way too fast for this to be nothing. "I do feel it," I finally said. Barely audible, "I've been feeling it." He exhaled shakily, relief flooding his face. And then he kissed me. Slow at first, careful, like he was afraid I'd disappear. Then deeper emotion, heat, all the tension we'd been running from crashing at once. My hand slid into his shirt, pulling him closer. His fingers curled against the back of my neck, like he'd been waiting years for this. When we finally pulled apart, breathless, he rested his forehead against mine. "So," he whispered, "can we stop pretending now?" A laugh escaped me, soft, unbelieving. "Yeah, we can stop." He smiled, real and unguarded. "Good, because I'm yours, and I want you to be mine." The final wall inside me fell. I said quietly. The night around us felt warm, peaceful, complete. No rumors, no crowd, no chaos, just us, exactly where we were meant to be.